very good afternoon to everybody that has joined us today for Bankmed's Benefits and Contributions 2023 virtual meeting. My name is Nicolette Mashile, also known as the Financial Bunny, and I'm quite excited for this deep dive, not only into Bankmed being an industry leader in the healthcare sector, but of course also to get an understanding of how they're getting it right to be so successful at making sure that they're keeping their members at the heart of their strategic approach. I'll be talking to the CEO of Bankmed, Mr. Teddy Musumutane, about the year that was and of course the outlook for both the industry and Bankmed as a whole. And then I have the pleasure of talking to Dr. Niri Naidu, who is Operations and Clinical Executive at Bankmed, across a variety of conversations. I want to talk to her a little bit about financial indicators, contributions, plan structures, member benefits, and of course a big one for Bankmed, and that is wellness, and a whole host of other exciting topics that pertain to Bankmed and its valued members. But of course, we cannot close off today's session without talking to Michelle Bam. Now, she heads up client management at the organization, and I really want to get into those closer to home stories and of course delve a little bit deeper into the communication strategy of Bankmed. So let's jump right into it and welcome into studio the CEO of Bankmed, Mr. Teddy Musumutane. A very good afternoon to you, Teddy.
Good afternoon to you, Nicolette. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today, and the energy that is here is so uplifting. I must say, Bankmed has a tendency of connecting us with good people, and by that I'm trying to welcome you as well. We have been connecting with our Bankmed members in this kind of fashion on a number of occasions now. This is obviously something that has been imposed on us by the world that is changing, and indications are that these changes are certainly here to stay, and we are certainly keen to adapt out of necessity.
I like that. I like the positive note that you start off with. I think it's quite important. I'm feeling welcomed here, right? And I think I want to talk a little bit. I mean, off air, when we spoke earlier on, we're talking about this changing world that we're now finding ourselves in post-COVID-19. Yes. And there's a new way of doing things. And perhaps maybe you can give us a little bit of a perspective around that.
Yeah, the perspective that I expressed flows from the adage that says, blood is thicker than water. And in this specific context, I would like to argue that the partnership that we have nurtured with Bankmed over the years has certainly proven to be thicker than COVID-19.
That's clever.
Now, perhaps if you could allow me, at the risk of taking you back to COVID, because we are all keen to move forward.
Yeah.
But I just want to close the circle in as far as COVID-19 is concerned by making reference to just 3 numbers.
Okay.
If we look at what had happened at Bankmed, and here I'm talking about the number of COVID-19 tests that we carried out, we ended up carrying out tests across 202,000 Bankmed beneficiaries. Now, out of that number, around 48,000 tested positive. At this point in time, I wouldn't stress too much about the positivity rate.
Yeah.
Working with bankers in particular, I can imagine them trying to work out the numbers and trying to work out the positivity rate. Trust me when I say right now we can afford not to dwell on those kind of details. But what is more encouraging to me, Nicolette, is the fact that from a recovery rate perspective, we have had a recovery rate of just around 98%.
Wow.
And from a vaccination rate perspective, which is a manifestation of our members having, really taken advantage of the support that is available to them, we had a vaccination rate of about 70%.
Wow.
Now, if you're wondering what these numbers mean, please trust me when I tell you that these are very good numbers.
Yeah.
And I say this with confidence because we look at these numbers with reference to the national stats and some comparable indicators when we look at other medical schemes in the stable of our administrator. But having said all that, I would still encourage our members who may not have gotten vaccinated or got the booster as well to go out there and get vaccinated, and get the booster as well.
And I think also, just as somebody who's been vaccinated myself, I think it was such a pertinent, it played such a good role for me to be able to protect myself,
Yes.
to protect the people around me. I think we take it for granted how important getting vaccinated is. So if you are at home and you're still a member of Bankmed, or even if you are not, and you're finding yourself in a situation where you've not been vaccinated yet, please do go out there and get vaccinated. And I think speaking about, the unprecedented changes over the last 2 years, Teddy, I'd like to get a bit of insight from you. What do you believe are the characteristics of this unfolding future that we're finding ourselves in, and what are some of the new features associated with these changes?
Nicolette, that's a very good question, and I want to deal with this at two levels.
Okay.
The first level is perhaps more anecdotal and it's personal to me, but I have a strong feeling that a lot of people can relate to this. I believe the unfolding change and the unfolding new normal has certainly not been asking for permission to impose itself. So that's one feature that I can highlight about this new world that we are navigating through. The second characteristic or feature is that this new world has certainly been unapologetic. It's not apologizing. And we embrace this with appreciation, because many years ago we could get away with theorizing about the future. We no longer have that luxury, because the future that we were talking about is certainly right here. And this last feature is the one that is quite personal. I believe the new normal has simply been rude in how it has been imposing itself.
Yeah.
Now, earlier on, I did indicate that I want to deal with this at two levels. The second level is closer to the operations that Bankmed navigates through. And one of the things that we found ourselves having to do is to facilitate a change in the healthcare solutions that has resulted in changes in how people are accessing healthcare and the point of care as well. And I'll only touch on a couple of examples in this regard. And one of them is the introduction of a benefit that is referred to as a hospital at home.
Yes.
This is in lieu of hospitalization. And I won't dwell too much into this regard, because my colleague later on, Dr. Niri Naidu, is going to say a bit more in this regard. The second feature, which is more relevant in the space that we are operating on, as I've indicated, accompanies this hospital at home feature, and that relates to remote diagnosis and monitoring. Now, this would not be surprising, because if you are having a hospital at home benefit, it's important for us, or the doctors in particular, to have some mechanism of monitoring the members who are based at home and having some measure of diagnosing them as well. So this is the second aspect that is more relevant in the space that we are operating in. What will not catch you by surprise is virtual consultations. This has certainly become the norm. Digital pharmacy is also the norm. This is why I no longer find myself having to be waiting in queues at the pharmacy. And there are also alternative wellness offerings that we have introduced from a Bankmed perspective. And this is really in response to the changing world of work. And a good example in this regard is really having screening done in the comfort of your own home. Can you believe that?
I mean, that's good. That's for me, it's also just the privacy, finding out that you are being diagnosed with something, to have it done at home is sometimes, it gives you that little bit of comfort that I think all of us are looking for, especially when you're speaking to healthcare providers, right? And
Absolutely.
I think with just some of these changes, you spoke about it being unapologetic, you spoke about it not asking for permission. So it's here. It's like, listen, we're all here. So what it is that you're going to do now? I want to talk a little bit about how Bankmed is finding its place within industry and just recalibrating in essence and offering and remaining relevant.
I'm really passionate about the points that you are raising now for a number of reasons, including the fact that at a session that I had with my team recently, when we were reflecting on Bankmed values, one of the values that really emerged as something that we should adopt and run with into the future is the value of relevance.
Yes.
It's important for us to be relevant in the future, and this is no longer a differentiator, Nicolette. I would argue that it's really a license to play. So the assurance that we can give our members is that we certainly are committed to being relevant now and into the future. Secondly, our partnership with our end clients enables us to co-create healthcare solutions that are responsive to the requirements of our members. This is by design, and it is underpinned by us being a restricted medical scheme, because we are best placed to be able to respond to the requirements that are outlined by our members. So against that background, the commitment that I want to give to our members is that we are very much ready to recalibrate our solutions so that we are certainly fit for the future that is not only here, but will stay with us in the few months to come.
I must say, I feel like you're teasing me a little bit. Earlier on, you spoke about some of the programs that you guys have, and one particular one you spoke about is wellness. So
Yes.
I'm looking forward to hearing Dr. Aniri speak a little bit about that. But I want us right now to look into the future, right?
Yes.
You guys already have an extensive offering for your members, which is quite impressive. But let's maybe paint a picture for our audiences and your members at home, and really talk about what does the journey going forward actually look like.
Yes, I like that a lot, and it does require that I almost take a step backward, even if it's just for a moment, because Bankmed has been around for a while, 108 years to be exact.
Sure, older than me.
Definitely older than me as well. But what we have learned during that journey is that there are some fundamentals that have certainly stood us in good stead, and they enable us to build on that as a foundation for the future that we are certainly very confident about. Now, we as Bankmed are very appreciative of the fact that the world has evolved, and we are acutely aware of that reality, and are very keen to make sure that we build on the partnership that we have with our members in a way that will ensure that we continue to remain relevant. Now, getting closer to the question that you have raised, if I look at the attributes of our value proposition, and this is what our members are seeing on the screen, there are at least 7 that I want to touch on, which are really aimed at giving assurance to our members that they can certainly bank on Bankmed, and they can stay with Bankmed for the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
And I want to go through this very quickly, because to a significant extent, this is a bit of a reminder to the audience that has been engaging with us for a number of years. The very first one, which is really the lifeblood of Bankmed's existence, is that we see ourselves as partners in health and wellness in the relationship that we have with our clients first, and then our members. So partnership in health and wellness is one of the value attributes that will ensure that we navigate our way in a way that is sustainable into the future. So that's the first one, Nicolette. Secondly, and I did allude to this very briefly, this is really around the fact that as a restricted medical scheme that was formed by bankers, for bankers, the restricted medical scheme is really best placed to respond to the requirements of our members more than an open medical scheme would be able to do, because we are in a relationship that enables us to co-create, making sure that we respond to the requirements of our members. The third one, and this one will certainly not surprise you, and it's really about value for money.
Yes.
Now, I want to take it slow in explaining this, because what we often seek to highlight to our members and our clients is that if I, as an average Bankmed member, and just bear with me because I may not fit the profile of an average Bankmed member, but let's just say I'm an average Bankmed member, and I was keen to join an average open medical scheme out there and enjoy the same kind of benefits that I'm enjoying at Bankmed, I would have to pay about 41% more to enjoy the same kind of benefits. This is not something that we have worked out ourselves. It has been worked out independently by smart people, actuarial consultants who have indicated that this is the better value that Bankmed has nurtured in partnership with its clients and members over more than 108 years of existence.
And I want to come in there and I want to find out, is it because of the two things that you already spoke about? I think the one was the fact that it is a restricted medical scheme by bankers, for bankers, understand bankers. And then you also spoke about the need to look at the requirement of what a typical banker needs.
Absolutely.
So does that allow for that tailoring? And of course, then the economies of scale come into play.
You are spot on. If I didn't know better, I would say you were a Bankmed member. But let me respond that. I think the profile of our members in the banking industry and the business model that Bankmed, together with its employer group clients, have agreed on, have enabled this better value to be nurtured over the years of the partnership. So that is what underpins this better value. Now, when one talks about value, you cannot forget to talk about quality as well.
Absolutely.
And my colleague will later, zoom into this. But the most that I can tell you at this point is that quality, from a benefit offering perspective, really relates to the outcome flowing from the interventions that we are subjected to from a healthcare perspective. Now, let me wrap it up by touching on 3 other attributes.
Yes, please.
The next one is very bold from Bankmed in that we make a commitment to best of class member experience. Okay. This is what we believe our members deserve. And we express this as part of our value attribute that, if our members scream, we will jump because we have made this commitment to best of class member experience.
So you guys are not the typical South African when you call a hotline, the phone just rings and rings and rings. I like that. Yeah.
And this is supported by the service level agreements that we conclude with our partners who support us to deliver the value that we promise to our members. Technology and innovation, we accept this as an enabler, and this is something that we highlight as one of the value attributes that we will build on into the future. And the last one, and we mentioned this last deliberately, and it's about financial stability. Given that we are led by bankers, it would be very surprising if we didn't get this one right. So Nicolette, these are the attributes that will carry us forward, and as I've said earlier on, they have stood us in good stead. But we are also committed, as I indicated earlier, to make sure that relevance is one of the features that we carry into the future, because if you are not relevant, you'll very soon be out of the game.
Absolutely, and I don't think it would matter, because if you are trying to service a group of people, I think one of the most important things is to make sure that you are putting them at the heart of your strategic approach, at the heart of how you are going to move forward in every decision that you are making as an organization. I think that's quite impressive. So well done to all of you guys. Now, Teddy, speaking about these 7 key value propositions, I'm sure at home everybody is wondering. I mean, you spoke about technology as an enabler, you spoke about, responsiveness, you spoke about wellness. There's quite a lot of them. How do you actually get the member to feel them? How do you bring them down to the member who's on the ground and saying, I need to feel these, because here's the CEO, he's talking about them, but me as Nicolette, do they come to me?
Yeah, Nicolette, that's a very good question. The value attributes that we have engaged you about, they provide a foundation based on which we create our core benefit offering. And the core benefit offering, which really relates to the benefits that we offer, is accompanied by what we refer to as wellness, which in turn is accompanied by balance, which we will talk about later. Now, Bankmed is a leading medical scheme with exceptional value that our members can continue to enjoy. we believe that our 6 benefit options that we have continue to provide the value that addresses the needs of our members across the different life stages that they go through in their life journey. Now, at the bottom of our benefit options, we have the essential benefit option, which is a lean and low-cost benefit option confined to what is referred to as prescribed minimum benefits. And it is aimed at ensuring that those who may have low healthcare needs and where affordability is a bit of a challenge, they are able to take advantage of that specific benefit option. Now, Nicolette, at the top of the range, we have the plus benefit option, and we often refer to this as the Rolls Royce of our benefit options.
Clever.
It also doesn't come cheap, but it caters for the needs of those who do not have affordability challenges and are very keen to pay the premium to enjoy the benefits that come with the specific benefit option. Now, in between these 2 benefit options, we have the basic option, the core saver, traditional, and the comprehensive benefit option. And many of our members are on the comprehensive benefit option. And at the end of the day, this is how we really deliver the value to our members. But as I've said before, wellness is very central to what we have to offer, and it is a feature that is there across all our benefit
I was
options.
about to ask, so you're still getting all of those key value propositions across the different 6 benefit tiers that you've got.
Absolutely.
And I mean, just speaking about it, Gen Z. Gen Z, I mean, these young kids, they want wellness at the office. They want to get and tap into their benefits. Social justice is at the top of, their priorities. They've got so much agency. So it's great to see that you are still giving them the option that is going to be tailored to their life stage. Obviously, if I'm going to maybe start planning a family, I'll move on to another benefit plan, right? But what I'd like to know is there an opportunity for me to go up and down as my life and the circumstances change?
Absolutely. And what is typical for a medical scheme is for members to be allowed to choose benefit options once a year, which is at the beginning of a benefit year. And generally, medical schemes have a benefit or financial year that starts from January right up until December. So towards the end of the year, we would engage with our members, encourage them to apply their minds and consider their health and choose a benefit option that will cater for their healthcare needs. So the short answer is yes, Nicolette, but it is something that is done once a year because it then enables us to manage the journey of the member in the course of that benefit year.
And maybe let me just sneak in a question here. What has been the trend with young people? Because often we have this sentiment, or we hear, we don't really know, people saying young people don't really understand medical aid, they don't value it. What have you guys seen?
I think in fairness to members in general, Nicolette, the medical scheme offering, or what is otherwise referred to as medical aid, is complicated.
Yes, indeed.
And this is not unique to medical aid. Even insurance products at times are complicated. So we very much appreciate that. But what we do from a Bankmed perspective is to try to empower our members as much as we possibly can. And we do this through communication. And it's also important for the members to really optimize the information that is made available to them. Even in instances where they sort of want information at the point of trying to access care, we will always be there to support them as best as they possibly can. But I think it's important that I encourage members to use the information, and we trying to make it as understandable as possible. And we must work together with our members to achieve our common objectives in this regard.
Absolutely. Now, Teddy, absolutely fantastic offering in terms of your plans. But we know that a plan is one thing. The other thing that I think COVID-19 has shown us is that we need to have a holistic outlook on health and, of course, wellness. And I mean, you've echoed the sentiment on wellness quite a lot today. And I think that is very, very important. But there's something that you guys have at Bankmed that is quite interesting. So, Ntate Masumutani, Ha re bolele ka balance. Ke eng balance to you guys at Bankmed?
I like the way you say that. Now, one of the things that the medical scheme industry has been accused of rightfully over many years is the fact that the healthcare industry is hospice-centric.
Yes.
By that I mean we intervene at a time when people are en route to hospital. Now, progressive medical schemes like Bankmed embrace the importance of wellness, because we do not only want to intervene when people are en route to hospital. We want to contribute to their quality of life and be there to encourage them to lead healthy lifestyles. Absolutely. Because the quality of their lifestyles is quite important to us, given that we are partners in health and wellness. Now, Balance really is a wellness program that is designed to reward you for taking steps towards healthier lifestyles.
I like that.
And this includes rewarding people who exercise, who eat healthy, and those who simply take action to find out about their state of health.
So your screenings, your tests, your annual checkups.
So even for doing or taking those kind of actions, people get rewarded. And so what I would say is that subject to applicable conditions, of course, once you activate this balance product, the formula is quite simple, Nicolette. Okay. You take steps to know your health, improve your health, and you get rewarded. And
you get incentivized. Guys, how nice is that? I mean, already you're winning, because you're going to lead a healthy lifestyle. Absolutely. Which is quite an important part of all of us, right? But let's ask the CEO, what are those rewards? Sometimes you must check what are the rewards, CEO?
So these rewards range from weekly rewards to discounts and savings. And what you are seeing on the screen is really a snapshot of what these benefits are all about. And these range from up to 15% back on healthy food at Pick n Pay or Woolworths, up to 15% back on thousands of healthcare items at Clicks and Discount stores. You also get exclusive access to active rewards for free. There's up to 15% discounts on qualifying sports gear and equipment from Sportsman Warehouse and Total Sports. And there's a lot more on this, and I would encourage our members to go onto our website and learn a lot more about how they can optimize these benefits that are there waiting for them to enjoy for free.
And I must tell you though, as the financial bunny, by any means necessary to get people to save more money, so if they're getting discounts and they're getting healthy, I mean, it's less sickly people, it's people who are getting, their monies together. I absolutely love that. And I guess, obviously, this balance program, I hear there's a person, there's a celebrity who's joined forces to make sure that they're promoting the message with you guys. Tell us a little bit about that.
We are excited about that. And I guess the point that I would like to register, because before I address your point, is that it's important for us to be intentional about our health and wellness. Now, I think it will serve all of us very well to have you see this for yourself, what we are talking about, instead of me talking about this.
Okay, very interesting. Let's see.
Slate 9, take 2. Hi, I'm Wade Paniket. Life is all about balance. Activate balance today.
Guys, come on. Wow, let's give Bankmed a round of applause. Wade van Niekerk is indeed a superstar, a South African. He's ours. He's ours.
Absolutely.
He's ours. And I think it's so pertinent that he is associated with such an incredible organization such as Bankmed. So well done to all of you guys and everybody that brought this together, right? But before I bring in our next guest, Teddy, of course, final words, final thoughts. What do you have to say to your members? They're here, they're listening to you, and they're really excited.
The first thing I want to say, Nicolette, is that this has been great fun.
Yes.
And I want to say this up front. Now, interestingly, having spoken about balance, one of the things that has proven to be critical in how we lead medical schemes is to find the right balance across a number of considerations. And some of them may be competing with each other. And examples would certainly include trying to enhance our benefits on one hand, and while trying to retain or rein in on the costs, and the price. And so affordability is one of the considerations. But what I want to, express with confidence is that we try to find the right balance across a number of considerations. And you must believe me when I say this, because we have the advantage of being led by very astute bankers who are very passionate about unlocking value for our members to enjoy, while honoring their responsibilities to make sure that Bankmed remains sustainable now and into the future. Now, the second point that I want to highlight to our members and to you, Nicolette, is the fact that we are navigating our way through challenging times. But what has certainly stood us in good stead is that the partnership that we have with our clients and our members has been stronger than the global challenges that we have encountered. Now, our health is our wealth.
True.
It is in our best interest, Nicolette, to nurture this asset, and Bankmed is certainly committed to doing this in partnership with our members.
Sure, ladies and gentlemen, he is your CEO, Mr. Teddy Musomatane, and I think it's just fantastic. I mean, really giving you that comfort, and I mean, I look forward to everything that your team and yourself and everybody at Bankmed is going to achieve in 2023. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Wonderful, thank you.
Now, as Teddy vacates the hot seat, so to say, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our next guest, Dr. Neri Naidu, and she is going to be sharing some vital information this afternoon that I know for a fact that you want to hear. So without further delay, let's welcome Dr. Neri Naidu.
Good afternoon, Nicolette, and I also want to extend a very warm welcome to the audience. I'm really excited to share with you today the 2023 contribution increases, including some industry increases, the 2023 benefit enhancements, and Bankmed's performance in the 2021 health quality assessment.
Maybe we can delve a little bit directly into the 2023 contribution increases, because I know that it's a key topic that we all are here to know about, right?
Absolutely, Nicolette. I'm going to speak to a few slides as I take the audience through the details. What this slide shows is Bankmed's average contribution increases over 12 years compared to the average contribution increases of the top 3 open medical schemes, namely Discovery Health Medical Scheme, Bonitas, and Momentum Health Medical Scheme. Note that Bankmed's increases have been consistently lower, and Teddy made the point earlier about Bankmed's better value for money. I want to draw your attention specifically to the increases over the most recent 2 years, including 2022. Although this is all history now, it provides evidence of a lower contributions base. In the light of the claims experience having started to normalize and CPI tracking at very high levels and medical inflation known to be generally about 3 to 4% above CPI, we have had to find the balance, as it were, while enhancing benefits at a point that protects sustainability and releases value now and into the future. Bankmed has been around long enough to master the art of delivering value in a sustainable way. Moving on to the next slide, I want to highlight some industry increases for 2023. With respect to Discovery Health Medical Scheme, the contribution increase will be deferred to April 2023. The increase will be CPI plus 304%. The increase on CAMF Medical Scheme which is a restricted medical scheme similar to Bankmed, will be 7.7%. Momentum Health Medical Scheme will also defer their increases to April 2023. The average contribution increase effective 1st April will be 8.5%. The average contribution increase on Bonitas Medical Scheme, also deferred to April 2023, will be 5.9%. 6.7% on MedShield Medical Scheme, 8.5% on BestMed, and lastly, 8.8% on FedHealth Medical Scheme. What the slide depicts is an 8-year trend of average contribution increases for Bankmed versus the top 3 open schemes, namely Discovery Health Medical Scheme, Momentum Health Medical Scheme, and Bonitas Medical Scheme, and one restricted scheme, namely CAMAF. For the period 2016 to 2020, Bankmed's increases show stability versus some volatility in the industry, where in some years there were double-digit increases. During the pandemic, the focus was to keep contribution increases low due to the state of the economy. Bankmed managed to contain the average contribution increases for 2021 and 2022 to 3.6% and 3.2% respectively. I am pleased to announce that for 2023, the contribution increase for Bankmed will be 7.7%, aligned to the increases prior to the pandemic. This is in keeping with Bankmed's strategy of taking a longer-term view on contribution increases, ensuring financial stability of the scheme and stable increases over time. Outlined on this slide is a breakdown of the increases across the different plans since 2018. For the 2 lower plans, namely the Essential and Basic plans, it is a 6.5% increase for 2023. The 6.5% is aligned to CPI. For the Core Saver, Traditional and Comprehensive plans, it is an increase of 7.9%. And for the Plus plan, an increase of 8%, giving us the average of 7.7% for 2023. Annual limits will increase by 6.5%. In summary, the average contribution increase for 2023 is 7.7%. Benefit limits will increase by 6.5%, and the scheme is preparing to generate operational losses to give back value to members, including some benefit enhancements for 2023.
That is incredible, Neri. For 12 years, you guys have consistently remained under the industry average, and really just looking in comparison to the top 3 schemes, it's absolutely an amazing and a remarkable achievement. Now, Neri, for someone like myself who isn't up to speed regarding the various offerings and plans that Bankmed offers to its members, maybe let's touch a little bit briefly on these.
Sure, Nicolette, we have a plan to suit everyone. This slide outlines the plan structure. I am quite certain that everyone present here is familiar with our plans. We have 6 plans with a plan to suit all needs. If we start off with the Essential plan, it is a lean, low-cost plan. Benefits are limited to PMBs only and are available via the GP Entry Plan network. The Basic plan has a wide range of primary care benefits, including cover for non-PMBs available via the GP Entry Plan network. The Core Saver plan is positioned as a hospital plan with a small savings component for day-to-day expenses. The Traditional plan is regarded as our network plan with a wide range of benefits with annual insured sublimits for day-to-day expenses, example pathology and radiology. The Comprehensive plan has a comprehensive range of benefits paid from both insured and savings out of hospital. The Plus plan is referred to as the Rolls-Royce plan. It is the top-of-the-range plan with a savings component and an above-threshold benefit referred to as the safety net for when savings are exhausted. All 6 plans are supported by managed care programs, a rich spectrum of wellness and preventative care benefits, and a wellness-based incentive program, namely Balance, which is available to all members at no additional cost. Active Rewards was launched in August 2021. Teddy has already alluded to the benefits of activating Balance and Active Rewards. This slide shows a high-level overview of the essential and basic plans. The essential plan is positioned as an entry-level plan suited for low healthcare needs with PMB level of cover only. The basic plan is positioned as a low contribution plan with both in and out of hospital benefits and cover for chronic conditions. There is a rich spectrum of wellness and preventative care benefits on both plans, except for the contraceptive benefit, which is not available to members on the essential plan. Both plans have a restricted GP network, a restricted specialist network, a GP specialist referral process in place, and a restricted hospital network. There are restricted formularies for pathology, radiology, and medication on these plans. Members on these plans have access to managed care programs for PMB level of care only. There is no optometry or dental benefit on the essential plan. Optometry benefit is available to members on the basic plan via the ISOLISO network, and a basic dentistry benefit is available to members on the basic plan. Moving to the top 4 plans, the Core Saver plan is positioned for young, healthy members with relatively low healthcare needs. There is a limited medical savings account for day-to-day expenses. The traditional plan is a network plan with comprehensive medical cover to meet moderate to high healthcare needs. The comprehensive plan is suitable for moderate to high healthcare needs for members who want a savings component, and the Plus plan is designed for moderate to high healthcare needs for members who want a savings component and an above threshold benefit. Nicolette, all 4 plans have a rich spectrum of wellness and preventative care benefits. A medical savings account is available on the Core Saver, Comprehensive and Plus plans. There is a GP network and specialist network on all 4 plans. The GP specialist referral process applies only to the Core Saver and traditional plans. The hospital network applies to the traditional plan only. That is, members on the Core Saver, Comprehensive and Plus plans have freedom of choice for hospitalization. Managed care programs are available to members on all 4 plans. However, members on the Core Saver plan have access to PMB level of care only. Optometry benefit is available on all 4 plans, subject to savings on the Core Saver plan, from insured benefit on the traditional plan, subject to a combination of savings and insured on the comprehensive plan, and subject to savings on the Plus plan. Basic dentistry is subject to savings on the Core Saver and Plus plans and from insured benefit on the traditional and comprehensive plans. A dental deductible applies to the top 3 plans and has been in place for a while. The deductible will be 2,175 rands for 2023.
Quite a holistic and varied offering indeed, Neri, right? And I think it's clear that you've spent countless hours researching the market and getting to understand your members' requirements. I think that's always quite a key thing, you're understanding who you are actually trying to serve. Now, plans are one thing. What about the true benefits, and what are they, and how are they associated with some of these plans that you've spoken about, and how did you come up with the various enhancements going into 2023?
Nicolette, the annual benefit review process is a very robust one, with deliberations commencing in January of each year. I'm going to outline certain principles of the annual benefit review, and these include: to enhance benefits and innovation. These do come at a cost, but are necessary to remain competitive and be the medical scheme of choice for the banking industry. To to optimize risk management in order to keep contribution increases low, to consider a tiered differentiation in benefits between plans, especially for the discretionary benefits, example dental or optometry, where members perceive value and would therefore consider higher premiums justifiable, to lower out-of-pocket payments, to improve member experience, and to ensure alignment of benefits with principles of clinical best practice. So what were the 2023 benefit enhancements informed by? It was a fine balancing act between benefit enhancements, affordability, inflationary challenges, and scheme sustainability. During the benefit review deliberations, part of the discussions revolved around learnings from the pandemic, with a focus on digital and remote healthcare initiatives and appropriate settings of care. In addition, principles of value-based care and contracting, clinical risk management, and clinical best practice were central to the discussions to ensure optimal outcomes and better quality of care for our members. The member-centric philosophy of Bankmed is always top of mind, and so are employer group requests.
I mean, just looking at those 6 points earlier, it's clear that you have a very structured approach and one that puts the member at the heart of the strategy. I think I certainly like that. Maybe I need to move to the financial services and work in a bank, right? I think it's good, and I think it's comforting for members to know that an organization really cares about what their needs are. Now, I want to talk a little bit about something that is far closer to my heart. I know you know wellness is such an important thing, not only just from health, but also just well-being, financial wellness, mental wellness. That's something that I really value a lot. Maybe you can discuss a little bit more in detail the involvement that Bankmed has when it comes to vaccines as well as diabetes and end-of-life programs.
Absolutely, Nicolette. As a medical scheme, health and wellness is Bankmed's strategy, and there is a massive focus on wellness, which includes screening for and the prevention of disease. Central to our strategy is the early identification of disease and enrollment onto our managed care programs. The next few slides outlines some of the 2023 enhancements relating to wellness and disease management. The first enhancement relates to the human papillomavirus vaccine. Bankmed currently provides cover on all 6 plans as part of the rich spectrum of screening and preventative care benefits for beneficiaries aged 9 to 16 years. Of recent, we have received requests for the vaccine from young adults. The literature does suggest that in higher socioeconomic groups, and Bankmed's membership would fall into this category, extending the benefit to young adults is appropriate. In 2023, the age limit will increase to between 9 to 25 years. Currently, it is 9 to 16 years. This enhancement is aligned to the member-centric philosophy of Bankmed and clinical best practice principles. The next enhancement relates to the post-engagement wellness management program. 2 dietitian and 2 biokinetist consultations were implemented in 2020 for members identified at moderate to high risk for hypertension, diabetes, and hyperlipidemia following a personal health assessment. A report by the World Economic Forum in 2018 revealed that about half of all business leaders are concerned that at least one non-communicable disease will hurt their company's bottom line in the next 5 years. South Africa is ranked the unhealthiest country on earth from 191 countries assessed across the globe, as per the article by the Business Insider US in March 2019. It's absolutely crazy, Nicolette, and quite scary. The ranking is based on 10 measures: healthy life expectancy, blood pressure, blood sugar, obesity, depression, happiness, alcohol use, tobacco use, inactivity, and government spending on healthcare. The latest statistics from the World Health Organization show that South Africans have a 26% probability of dying from cardiovascular disease, cancer, diabetes, or chronic respiratory disease between ages 30 and 70. The World Health Organization also found that more than 28% of adults were obese, the highest obesity rate in sub-Saharan African countries. In 2023, the benefit of 2 dietitian and 2 biokinetics consultations will be extended to members with an abnormal BMI of greater than equal to 35 post a personal health assessment. The next enhancement relates to diabetes disease management. Diabetes is one of the highest causes of natural death in South Africa. Diabetes is a chronic metabolic disease characterized by elevated levels of blood glucose and leads to serious damage to the heart, blood vessels, eyes, kidney, and nerves over time. Currently, Bankmed beneficiaries living with diabetes have access to 2 disease management programs, namely the program delivered by the Center for Diabetes and Endocrinology and the Diabetes Care Program delivered through the Premier Plus GP network. In 2023, an enhanced diabetes disease management program will be implemented. Those diabetic members not on a program will be encouraged by their treating doctors to enroll onto the enhanced program to access additional benefits. Nicolette, in addition to the basket of care services, members will have access to the following: diabetes nurse education, dedicated care navigators to guide members along their care pathways and to seamlessly access benefits and care, a dedicated line for diabetes queries, individually tailored lifestyle coaching, example weight loss, exercise programs, coping with stress and change, personalized quality scorecard which highlights areas where the member and family should focus self-care, example medication optimization, quit smoking, sleep optimization, stress management and emotional well-being, exercise and fitness, nutrition, gut health, goal setting, change management, engagement, and reinforcement. The next enhancement relates to end-of-life care. The advanced illness benefit and the compassionate care benefit were implemented to provide members with advanced illness access to a comprehensive suite of benefits for their out-of-hospital, palliative, supportive care needs. This benefit has demonstrated ongoing success since inception. The challenge, however, is that members are referred too late. The objective of the Advanced Illness Member Support Program is to provide members with advanced disease access to a team that includes a social worker, counselor, and palliatively trained GP that can support members in understanding their illness, navigating appropriate care, and formulating a personalized care plan. The evidence does suggest that earlier conversations on formulating a care plan increases the likelihood that members will access appropriate care when required at end of life. The member journey is outlined on this slide. There is proactive engagement with the member and family, and the additional benefits and services are outlined to the member and family. The member can accept or decline enrollment. If the member agrees to the enrollment, the member is put in contact with a palliative care GP or specialist. A benefit confirmation letter is sent to the member together with a brochure outlining the benefits. The members are followed up by the team of care coordinators to check if they are receiving the right level of support. The next enhancement relates to the current advanced illness and compassionate care benefits. There are currently 2 benefit structures in place for the management of end-of-life care, namely the advanced illness benefit and the compassionate care benefit. The advanced illness benefit provides members with advanced cancer access to comprehensive out-of-hospital benefits to manage their palliative care needs in the comfort of their own home. The advanced illness benefit enables delivery of optimal palliative care via proactive care coordination. The compassionate care benefit provides members with other life-threatening conditions the same benefit offerings as the advanced illness benefit. In 2023, these two benefit structures will be collapsed into one program. This is a high-touch program where care coordinators support members and their families through the most vulnerable of times.
You know, Neri, I must tell you about a very scary moment in my life. I once went into my doctor's office, did a couple of tests, and then he said to me, well, you are pre-diabetic. And I'm telling you, at that moment, you are thinking about all of the worst case scenarios, because also when you go into Google, you see worst case scenarios, right? There is no support for you to be able to get the right information and to know that there is a treatment for such things. So I think for me, this is very worthwhile and potentially life-saving programs that you've really touched on. And I think another exciting extension on currently is your initiative that you are involved in, that you guys have rolled out during COVID, called the Hospital at Home. Maybe you can inform us to what are some of the changes that you have and what that actually means for your members.
Yes, Nicolette. Bankmed currently participates in the Hospital at Home initiative for COVID-19 only. The initiative commenced during the pandemic. In 2023, this initiative will be extended to allow any admission of low acuity where the patient meets criteria and the doctor is willing to admit the patient at home. A detailed clinical assessment will be carried out to ensure patient safety and subsequent eligibility. Clinical criteria must be met for the safe treatment of low acuity conditions and optimal patient recovery. Risks, complexity, and comorbidities are identified through the assessment. Patient categories include home-based care for members at risk for readmission, home-based care for members discharged early from hospital, example, to complete a course of IV antibiotics or wound care, home-based acute care for members with low acuity conditions, home-based care for end-of-life palliative care. Please note that all admissions will be paid in lieu of hospitalization, subject to clinical entry criteria being met. The support provided includes an integrated management dashboard for live monitoring by healthcare providers, supportive physical and virtual consultations by a specialist care team, a library with condition-specific and procedural content, a 24/7 GP oversight panel for immediate care and advice, an end-to-end digital medication journey with live tracking. The remote monitoring process is carried out through a biosensor patch, a pulse oximeter, a thermometer, a weight scale, and a blood pressure cuff. This slide outlines the dashboard that the providers use to monitor the patient remotely.
I think that's the most important thing about medical aid, right? Is being able to get that immediate attention, or medical attention rather, especially when you need it. So I really do think it's an incredible initiative to be involved in, and no doubt an extension that is now offered in 2023 and will go a long way in assisting your patients when they need it the most. Now moving on to two other subjects, one being your provider contracting and the other being a new upgrade to the speech processor. Maybe you can share a few details on these two items for us.
Nicolette, I will outline these enhancements over the next few slides. With respect to the doctor's room procedures enhancement, this initiative is to expand the list of procedures that can be safely performed in a specialist's rooms. These are minor procedures. The list has been reviewed and approved by the different specialist societies. This enhancement is aligned to one of the principles that informed the 2023 benefit enhancements, namely appropriate settings of care. Examples of the procedures include small bursa or ganglion excision, diagnostic hysteroscopy, circumcision, epidermoid cyst excision. these procedures will be paid in lieu of hospitalization. The last enhancement for 2023 relates to the speech processor upgrade benefit available to members on the top 3 plans. The current benefit cycle for a speech processor upgrade is 5 years. Advancements in cochlear implant sound processor technology have significantly contributed to improving the quality of life for cochlear implant recipients. Due to the rapid changes in technology, the cycle will be shortened to 3 years effective 1st January 2023.
Sure. Very good news and worthwhile changes, guys. Indeed, really. If I could clap for you guys, I would definitely clap right now. But I think you can clearly see that the technological advancements are affecting the healthcare sector, requiring you to continually monitor and adapt your products to fall in line with some of these changes. Now, let's move on to our final topic for this afternoon, and let's refer to HQAs, better known as Health Quality Assessment. And coming from a financial background myself, I'm all about the numbers. But between me and you, let's not talk about my grades in metric for mathematics, right? I mean, earlier on, we chatted about some numbers. I'm eager to see how Bankmed is stacking up against the industry in this regard and how you went about arriving at your results.
Nicolette, Bankmed participates in the health quality assessment annually. I'm going to use the next few slides to demonstrate Bankmed's performance in the 2021 health quality assessment against the local funding industry. What is health quality assessment? It is a benchmarking exercise in the funding industry that highlights key quality issues in the South African medical scheme industry. It drives improvement in the delivery of evidence-based medicine. 17 schemes from 6 different administrators participated in the 2021 Health Quality Assessment. This comprised of 119 benefit options and represented 7.17 million beneficiaries, which is 80.04% of the medical scheme population, and is indeed a very representative sample. Medical schemes are evaluated on 4 categories, namely prevention and screening, chronic disease management, hospitalization, and maternity and newborn. Looking at the first category of primary care, which includes screening, Bankmed performed better than the industry in all areas. The industry is the 16 other medical schemes that participated in the 2021 Health Quality Assessment. However, looking at the last column, which are international benchmarks, Bankmed and the local funding industry are lagging behind. The international benchmarks represented here are for those metrics where the local and international definitions are aligned. For most of the metrics, there is little alignment, and that is the reason for the not available in the benchmark column. This slide outlines chronic disease management for diabetes. Once again, Bankmed did better than the industry, except for the HbA1c uptake, where the industry fared slightly better. Of note, Bankmed does not receive the claims data from the Center for Diabetes and Endocrinology, as this is a capitation agreement. Had Bankmed received the data for the 1,000 diabetic members being managed by the CDE, Bankmed's HbA1c uptake would have been better. We are working closely with the CDE to obtain this data going forward. Looking at the last column, which are international benchmarks, once again, Bankmed and the local funding industry are lagging behind. This slide outlines chronic disease management for ischemic heart disease and asthma. Once again, Bankmed did better than the local funding industry, however, lagging behind most international benchmarks. In the hospitalization category, Bankmed members had more stents inserted with a higher average length of stay and more spinal fusions carried out when compared to the industry. The health quality assessment results provides us with focus areas that we can interrogate and implement initiatives where possible to to improve the performance going forward. These discussions are held at the Clinical Governance Committee meetings made up of Scheme Management, NMG, Bankmed's Actuaries and Consultants, and the Clinical Risk Management team from Discovery Health, our managed care partner. In the maternity and newborn category, Bankmed did better than the industry in 2021, with the exception of a higher caesarean section rate when compared to the industry. The caesarean section rate in the South African medical scheme industry is significantly higher than international caesarean section rates, which range from 25% in Europe to 32% in North America to 55% in countries like Brazil, Turkey, and Egypt. This graph is a scatter graph and outlines Bankmed's overall performance against the industry in 2021. Bankmed being the red dot, and the green dots represent the 16 other schemes who participated in the health quality assessment in 2021. To the right of the graph, the horizontal axis is the risk-adjusted average contribution per beneficiary. The contributions have been risk-adjusted for age, gender, and chronic disease. The vertical axis is the overall score. Overall, Bankmed was number 1 in the industry in 2021, and this performance is for the 7th consecutive year, a very positive outcome which Bankmed is really proud of. This scatter graph outlines a 3-year view of Bankmed's performance represented by the 3 red dots. The green dots represent the average score over the 3-year period of the 16 other schemes. In 2020, Bankmed's performance dropped when compared to 2019. Due to the pandemic, where members did not seek healthcare as they did pre-pandemic, the entire industry, including Bankmed's performance, dropped when compared to the 2019 performance. Prior to 2020, as Bankmed improved its performance, so did the industry. Bankmed lost ground in 2020, and so did the industry. However, in 2021, Bankmed outperformed 2019, the pre-pandemic year. In 2021, multiple initiatives were implemented in order to recover and exceed 2019 levels. Bankmed managed to achieve that, which is a very positive outcome. This excellent performance is something Bankmed is very proud of, as quality is one component of the value proposition of Bankmed, which Teddy alluded to earlier today.
Wow, Niwi! It's just green numbers across so many of your treatment areas. And I think that's just absolutely fantastic. And I think I can see it. And of course, the audience at home can also see that, Bankmed is really striving to reach maximum benefit without compromising on the quality of the service that they're offering you, but of course also on the stability of the organization. Now that is a fine balance, I know, and I think you guys have managed to navigate it successfully. So well done to all of you guys. But it's been absolutely great talking to you, and the information that you have shared is absolutely fantastic and outstanding. And once again, many thanks for your time, and we look forward to hearing about all of the successful stories that Bankmed is going to be achieving in 2023.
It was an absolute pleasure, Nicolette. I hope to see you in the not too distant future. I would also like to thank the audience for their attention today, and I want to wish them everything of the best. Take care and stay safe. Bye for now.
So as Niwi departs our studio, it gives me great pleasure to welcome our third and final speaker for the day, and it is none other than Michelle Bam. Now, Michelle is a dynamic and passionate, and it makes sense that her role in client management really is just so suited for her personality. Michelle, welcome to the studio, and I cannot wait to hear a little bit more about the crucial role that you have at Bankmed.
Hi, Nicolette. It's good to be here.
How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
Oh, it's so good to have you here. And Michelle, I just want to talk a little bit. If you think about communication and how important it is to make sure that you communicate to your members, especially when there's changes within contributions, there's changes within their benefits. How are you guys getting this right and making sure that you're using the correct channels?
The industry is indeed very complex, and it's so important to keep communications concise, but also very simplistic. So we start off by communicating directly to our members.
Okay.
So the members will get what we call a year-end communications pack. In that information pack that is emailed to them is the 2023 benefits and contribution schedule.
Okay.
So it details all of the information of all of the plans in one booklet.
Oh.
But assuming not all of us like to read.
Yes.
So in addition to that, there is literally a one-pager, so to say, whereby we will detail specifically what's applicable to that member for their plan.
Okay.
So that is in favor of the member from an emailer perspective. We also nudge members via SMSs to say,
nice.
have a look at the information. You know, the deadline is on the 9th of December. We also utilize preferred channels within our employer groups.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Employer groups will, for example, have the intranet.
Yes.
And there's different sections on the intranet, and Bankmed will host a lot of this information in their environment, if I can put
Yes, like in an organic environment for them.
100%. The 2023 information will be there. We will even add frequently asked questions as an example. And we will give people an opportunity where they can click on a link and request a virtual consultation.
Oh, nice.
So that consultation happens via Teams meeting or telephonically.
Okay.
In some employer groups, we have planned webinars as an example.
I like that.
Social media also plays a huge role. So nudges from a Facebook perspective.
Yeah.
I think that along with all of the information, along with a copy of this webinar as an example,
Yeah.
will be on Bankmed's website.
Sure.
So even then members can access all of this information in the palm of their hand if they happen to have the Bankmed app.
I was gonna get to that, but as we speak about all of the different channels that you guys are using, it almost feels like, you know, you can hide or you can run, but you cannot hide from our information. We'll make sure you get all of this information. It's from the intranet at your employer, it's the emailer that you're getting, it's the brochures you're getting, it's the webinars you're getting. Quite a number and a comprehensive, you know, communications channel. But let's talk a little bit about the banking app and how does it form part of your communication strategy?
So if there's one thing I would love us to achieve as a Bankmed family, and I'm really appealing to our members, is please download the Bankmed app.
Okay.
You can have all of your information in the palm of your hand.
Literally, at any point, at any time.
If you happen to forget your wallet with your hard copy card, which you shouldn't have anymore, we are becoming carbon footprint savvy. Download a digital card as an example.
Yeah.
And again, all of the information is available on your app. You can even change your plan via the app.
Oh, wow.
There is a medicine tracker as an example. You could upload your claim by just taking a pic, as easy as that. But I tell you what, let me show you.
Okay.
Let me just have,
All right.
I'll show you.
All right.
And so all you need to do is, and we can perhaps just have a look at the screen. And I'll show you how easy it is just to navigate your way.
I see.
Just have a look.
Sure. So this is all your information. It's your profile.
That's right.
Okay.
What benefits I have utilized as an example. And if I want a digital card, I would just download and you'll see there's your Bankmed digital card as an example.
Okay, girl, that's quite impressive. I like that. And I think what's really important is, here's the medicine tracker that you were speaking about. Ah, that's so cool. So I can actually keep up with all of the medicine that I take.
What I like most is for members that's on plans that is network driven. You can find a network practitioner.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Wow, it's quite a versatile app, right? Okay, so we've got this app. It's absolutely fantastic. Convenience is key. We all know it. We all love convenience. But the older generation, how are they navigating using the app?
Don't be surprised. Our more mature generation, the 60s, the 70s,
Yeah.
they're on Facebook.
Yes.
They're on the app.
They on the app?
They're on the app.
Oh, wow.
They love using online communications like emailers as an example.
Love it.
But the old-fashioned support line is still there. We have a contact center.
Yes.
And So that is still how we communicate with people that perhaps don't feel so comfortable with all these digital devices, as an example.
Yes, yes.
And we recently even done a survey on how members feel and how they find the Bankmed app, and we were quite surprised with the responses and with the good suggestions that came back to Bankmed. So we're constantly working on, finding a way to make it more easier, more convenient for our members. I think it's important.
Yeah. Now, Michelle, listening to yourself, listening to Teddy and Neri, it seems like there's quite a lot of information for one to be able to digest. And I'm assuming with all the changes that come every single year, it can get a little complex for your members. What type of support do you provide for them, given that they can only change their plan once a year?
I want to start off by saying that we provide them with support throughout the year.
So at any point they are able to contact you guys?
100%.
All right.
So apart from the call center, and I want to reiterate, there is these virtual consultations that's happening throughout the year. There is on-site services available in the workspace of our members. So if people are confused at any point in time of their current plan, they can reach out and have that engagement directly with a client relations manager, as an example. But in addition, we have a guide called How to Choose a Plan. And what excites me about this is if there's anything that they potentially may have forgotten about, if they follow the guide in terms of how to choose a plan, they will pretty much land with a plan that is best suited for them.
And I like that. I mean, I always have this conversation when I say, having a financial, for instance, financial product, but if you don't know its benefits and you don't know when it's supposed to step in and assist you, it's as simple as you not having it because you don't know it. So it's great to see that you guys are holding your members' hands in choosing the right plan and you're giving them that comprehensive support. But now I've heard that Bankmed is over 100 years old. I mean, geez, it's older than you and I sitting here. I was saying that to Teddy earlier on. I want to talk a little bit about the heart and soul of Bankmed. I mean, to be able to stay relevant over so many years and over so many generations, what is the heart and soul of Bankmed?
It is a long time, Nicolette.
Absolutely.
And we can only achieve this by staying relevant and really holding our members close to our hearts in everything that we do. And as an example, there's been 4 generations of Bankmed members in one given family.
Okay, how does that work?
It's very interesting. But instead of me trying to explain, let me play you a video.
Okay, I'd love to see that, and I'm sure everybody at home would also like to see it.
Let's have a look.
As a youngster, I was very fit. I was an athlete, I was a swimmer, and all those things. You wouldn't say so now, but that's what I was. What has shaped my health journey is a Lebanese mother that fed us too well. And believe me, that just led to becoming, and I always say to people, I don't eat to stay alive, I live to eat. But it has taken its toll over the years, okay, because that has affected my health and to a certain extent everybody in my family's health. My family on my father's side came originally from East Germany. My grandmother comes from the English-Scottish side of things, and I suppose that's why I'm crazy, Scottish and German mixture. I'm not sure how that works. On my mother's side, it's exactly the opposite because that was Lebanese. So I come from this good mixed breed, I'm not a thoroughbred at all, and I suppose that's what gives you your character. But my journey with Bankmed started sometime in May 1950. That's when my dad got my mom pregnant and she went for her first sonar test. Because my dad was already a Bankmed member, so I immediately became a dependent. But effectively, we have, as a family unit, we are 15 people in my family, my mom and dad, my sisters, their children, so there's been 4 generations of us attached to Bankmed. So the 15 of us, we've had our slice of Bankmed, but it's been a good journey. because we've always known when we have an accident, we know we're going to be looked after. When we have a heart attack or you need to go and get your diabetic medication every month, we know that that's going to be covered. And believe me, that is the nicest thing to know in your life. The understanding of the benefit of Bankmed came to me certainly when I was younger, because I got bitten by a black widow spider and I virtually died, had major fits, and they couldn't find the reason. Then eventually, because of that poisoning, I used to get blood poisoning if I got a thorn in my foot. And I realized that at that stage, had my dad not had medical aid, I maybe wouldn't have got the treatments I needed. And people turn around and say, another old man in a chair, talking head, and he's been prompted to say all this stuff. Believe me, no prompts here. There is going to come a time in your 20s or 30s or 40s, and certainly in your 50s, okay, that you are going to need a safety blanket. And the safety blanket around your health for the rest of the time that you're a member of Bankmed is Bankmed. To me, it's been a blessing to know that Bankmed would look after all of us.
Oh my goodness, Michelle, a true testament of Bankmed. And I'm certain that if your role in client management, you've got some more stories of how you guys go beyond and above and below in every way for your members.
Absolutely, Nicolette. It stems from the desire for Bankmed to be the best in class. We have this picture on the wall at the office.
Okay.
That literally reiterates exactly what we stand for. So it says you are a member of an exclusive club.
Okay.
And a club that's not for the average. And it's true. To give you a bit more context, at the very inception, the banking sector came together to create a managed healthcare scheme that's focused solely on the banking industry and its unique requirements. As many of us know, the South African banking industry offers world-class solutions and can only remain competitive if its staff are healthy and focused.
Absolutely.
And that, I'm not just referring to employees, I'm also referring to the employers themselves. That's why we offer relevant scheme benefits and contributions that resonates with the individual's unique situation. If time allows, Nicolette, I would really like to share one final video that highlights our passion towards our members and how it impacts lives in Bankmed.
Of course we've got time. I'm sure even the audience member would love to see a real life situation.
Let's have a look.
Spending time with Martin makes me happy because he challenges me, and I think that was the qualities that I suppose eventually attracted me to you. Eh?
I find Jenny to be a very hard-working person. She's quite diligent, and I think that over time she's overcome some odds that have astounded many people, especially me.
So I was diagnosed with cancer on the 10th of July 2020. When I was diagnosed with cancer, I must say I was devastated. I used to cry a lot. I said, Martin, you know, I'm never going to see Crystal getting married. That's our youngest daughter. I'm never going to see our grandchildren growing up.
We as human beings think that things could always happen to other people, but we never imagined they could strike close to home. COVID, though, was very different.
I tested positive for COVID. I was taken to Glenwood Hospital and they refused to treat me because Glenwood will not accept me because of the plan that I'm on.
When we called on you, in my heart, I thought there would only be a fraction of a chance that you could actually pull off what I think and what I think you think only was a miracle.
That same night, Bankmed assisted to upgrade our medical aid because Martin explained to Michelle how urgent it was. I was very sick.
This was late in the day. It was technically close of business. Most folk would say, listen, call me at 9 tomorrow and we see what we can do for you.
And they took me back to the hospital. I was admitted.
And when you confirmed that same night, not to worry, you on comprehensive and you're good to go, I had to take 2. Because remember, it was a matter of life and death.
I joined Bankmed about 41 years ago. And only in the last 3 years did I come to really know what my benefits are. Make sure you choose the correct plan, which is most important.
Don't wait for a crisis to arise before doing so.
That put me a bit at ease. But still, it was an emotional journey. Everybody looked at me and said, Jenny, you are so strong. How do you do it? But deep inside, you know, I was emotionally drained. And even the chemo has affected my bones. But then I realized I need to live. I mustn't think about cancer, about dying tomorrow. I must live. I must enjoy my grandchildren while I can. I must enjoy my husband. You know, I look forward just to spending time with him. And I think they give me the reason just to fight for life. Because I love those two.
This is your moment.
But Jen, I think you often remind me that in the bigger scheme of things, especially throughout Jen's oncology and the chemotherapy treatment, I mean, the stuff is frightfully expensive. And I think Bankmed has come to the party in a realistic way.
Definitely. Through chemo, through radiation, bloods, everything. Bankmed has covered everything.
To really have that level of commitment that goes beyond the immediate call of duty, where you're just able to embrace people's need to the point where you actually impact on them far beyond the call of professional or other duty.
This is your moment. You got to give it all that you got. Don't hesitate and don't ever stop. Moment has come, don't let it slip away. It's closer than it's ever been, and now it's more than just.
Now that is a heartwarming story. It's such a mixture of just what people are experiencing out there, the health conditions, how Bankmed has come through for them, just the rich benefits that Bankmed has to support our members.
Absolutely.
And especially at the time when they need it most. So, wow, that is just one example.
Yeah.
There is many.
And you can see the love you've got for them. This is not just a job for you, and I think that's absolutely fantastic.
No, it's definitely not just a job.
Sure.
Bankmed is a family.
Yes.
Between the two stories that we've just listened to today, I think you can just feel the energy in terms of how we feel about not just our scheme, but the commitment that Bankmed has towards our members. And I'm really proud to be employed by Bankmed.
Michelle, I'm sure the organization is also very proud to have you on board because you just engage with so much empathy. I can see these are not stories that somebody else goes and fetches out on the field. These are stories that you know. These are people that you have actually engaged with, and I think that's absolutely fantastic. Now, speaking about engagement, we're coming into a very exciting part of the session. It is our Q&A. So you get an opportunity to speak to Michelle. So if you're feeling a little nervous about, some of the contributions and the benefits and the changes that are going into 2023, don't worry. Michelle is here and she's going to answer all of those questions. So if you look on your screen right now, my face goes away and you get the QR code, right? Open your phone's camera, scan the QR code, and it will take you to a platform where you'll be able to engage with Michelle. Now, I know You know, not all phones are made equal. But there is a scanner on your phone that you can use. So open up that scanning app and then you can scan the QR code. It will also take you to that platform where you'll have an opportunity to speak to Michelle. Now, President Cyril Ramaphosa loves saying that. He says, it's time for a family meeting, right? So I'm going to walk away, Michelle, and leave you with your family so you guys can scanner, right?
Yes.
and have all the chats and answer all of their questions. But I'll see you just after this.
Thank you so much. I already see 1 or 2 questions coming through.
Yes, no, the family wants to know. They want to know, Michelle. See you now.
I see there's so many questions with similar context. Let me just have a look. It reads, which plan is the right plan? Choosing a plan is easier said than done. How can we in the human capital community guide employees to make the right plan choice? Can I ask the technical crew just to put our guide slides up for a moment, please? Thank you. So this is what the 2023 guide looks like. It will touch on aspects like your age, your budget, family size, healthcare needs, chronic conditions, and whether you prefer a medical savings account, and if you are comfortable with utilizing a network of service providers or not. The guide takes you through a decision tree by following only 4 questions. Answering these questions will help you to narrow down a plan that is most appropriate for you. For further clarity, we also created various personas that best reflects the plan suitability. I would suggest that the community please encourage members to have a look at this plan guide. In addition to that, do raise awareness around the importance of attending inductions as an example, as well as a plan and specific category topics, webinars. Also encourage members to utilize the support channels available to them. This is either via on-site services, virtual consultations, or utilizing our digital tools on the website, etc. I see there's some great questions coming through, so keep them coming. Moving on to the next question that says, how do I go about changing my plan? So you have various options. You can utilize the Bankmed app to change your plan. You can contact the call center, whereby you can use the IVR prompts, and by choosing the different options, you get to a point where you actually make your plan selection. Or if you choose to, you can wait for a contact center agent and you can confirm your plan choice with the agent, who will then process it accordingly. Let's move on to our next question. I was recently diagnosed with 4 chronic conditions. Do you suggest I move to a higher plan? Okay, so I want to start off by saying, if all 4 of those conditions happens to be on the prescribed minimum benefit list, often known as PMBs, then no, there's no need to move to a higher plan, because all of the chronic conditions on that list is covered by all of the plans unlimited. However, should one of those conditions happen to be not on the list, like Alzheimer's as an example, that is only covered on the Comprehensive and Plus plan, then I suggest you may want to consider then moving up to a higher plan, like a Comprehensive plan. Yes. Okay, so that was a brilliant question, and I'm so glad I could answer that. Hope it helps you. So let's move on to the next question. When can I expect to receive my information pack? So we are planning to distribute the emailers with the 2023 benefits and contribution information along with the supporting documents in a stagnated approach as from the first week of November. That will allow all of our members at least 1 month in which they can make a decision. So please keep in mind that your deadline date is the 9th of December. So let us have your plan changes before then. If you're planning not to make any changes and remain on the same plan, then you don't need to do anything. So here's a good question. How do I avoid high medical cost? I want to say just use the Bankmed network service providers. These providers charge us within medical aid scheme rate, and they know how Bankmed benefits work. In addition to that, utilize day clinics instead of in-hospital facilities because that will be more costly. And then do download the Balance app. Keep healthy, keep fit. Prevention is always better than cure. So following from the previous question, here is another one, and I see quite a few similar to this one. It states, why is medical aid so expensive? So family, I want to say that technology is expensive. And then we have an aging population. So the older we become, the more healthcare we need. And in addition to that, there's an increased burden of disease, which means more people are contracting chronic diseases. And I can also add that inflation, as we all know it, is already high. But healthcare inflation is even at least 3% higher than what we are known to be CPI, as an example. So these factors all contribute to the high cost of private healthcare and medical services in our country. But I am so proud that Bankmed has kept our contributions fairly stable and consistent. And given that we only have an average increase of 7.7%, our benefits have increased by 6.5%. And this is really awesome. And I can really be proud that we have just served our members so well and given our members that kind of peace of mind that there's no erratic increases, as an example. Thank you so much for all of that questions. We have run out of time, but we commit to get back to you and address all of the questions that was raised today. Let's welcome Nicolette back so that she can wrap up our virtual webinar.
Shoo, a couple of good questions there, Michelle.
Yes, I wish we had time for more, but unfortunately we're pressed for time. But I want our members to continue to ask these questions and visit our FAQ on our website. We will be answering all of them, as promised, family.
I like that. Keeping up with the trend of communicating at all times to your members.
That's the plan.
Well, as Michelle has already mentioned, we have run out of time today, and that's all we have for you today on our Bankmed Benefits and Contributions 2023 virtual meeting. It's been absolutely fantastic just having you guys here. I know that you could have chosen to be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be here with us, and we really do appreciate it. And I think we've all seen today, right, that Bankmed really has the member at the heart of all of its decision, whether it's a strategic decision, whether it's a communications decision, but they've got the member and what the member needs, and that's what's really important. Now, from myself, Nicolette Mashile, and the rest of the Bankmed team, would like to say thank you very much, and we wish you the best of luck for the rest of 2022, and we will see you in 2023. Let's see you then. Bankmed, yours in good health.